it's going to be like that. All right, so welcome to our third Game Scrum episode here. I'm Steve.
I'm Brett.
I'm Nick.
Brandon.
Rich.
Rich is distracted today. He's playing Lego Marvel. You should be able to see in one of these corners. Depends on where I put it.
He won the lottery today, so he gets to play a game.
Yep. As much he's going to complain about it. He's already started. So we'll see how today goes out.
Yeah, find out where you got it.
But so today we got a few different topics. We're going to do our 2 Minute Technodrome. Our little discussion here is going to cover physical versus digital. Everyone gets 30 seconds to talk about it. We're obviously going to do our what are you playing segment. A little bit of news. Discussion topic for the day is going to be pre-orders, review embargoes, things like that. There's the cameo by Felix. So we're at Brett's house today, so it's Brett's cat gets the cameo.
No more Edgar. Maybe later.
Yeah, maybe next episode. And then we're going to round it out today with our top 5 favorite game franchises. So we're going to go ahead and start this off with physical versus digital. And since Rich is distracted, we're obviously going to start with Rich.
All right.
Let me get the timer going here. You get 30 seconds. Ready? Go.
All right. I don't really care. So.
Way to start it off.
Yeah. So I think it's whichever one you can get for the better deal at this time. I don't really care about selling games, so I don't care about the physical copy. I actually regret selling games, so maybe the digital is better for me. But yeah, I mean, I don't really care. Whichever one you can get cheaper off Amazon or wherever is probably the best. But I do like with digital that I can just load up the system and I don't have to get up from my couch. So it's a nice lazy factor.
Yeah. All right, Brandon, your turn.
Well, Rich stole about all my bullet points. No, I'm with him on price. I used to be a hardcore physical guy and strictly no digital. I always thought that was just a bad move. But I've shifted. I don't want to have to get up off my ass to switch discs sometimes. Sometimes I just want to veg out and just strictly play and switch seamlessly from one game to the next. But I'm a little bit both. Whatever the better deal is, and sometimes I do like to reset.
I have to go pretty much the same you've been saying with the digital, the ability to switch seamlessly. The downside to that, though, is I've noticed there's more bugs, it seems, with digital copies than there are actual hard disk copies. So that's something you have to deal with more with the digital versions.
That is true. I'm going to be the combo breaker here. I'm going to say physical copy all the way. I think having the actual physical disc in case anything happens, like with the servers, you still have the game. If you ever want to loan the game to a friend, you have that option. If you want to sell the game, which I don't personally like selling games too much, but you have more control over it.
I'm gonna have to go with Brett on this one. I absolutely prefer physical games. One of my biggest concerns, and it's came up, and I don't know if you read Reddit or anything. If at any point they decide that you did something to violate terms of service, they can wipe out your entire physical or digital library. PlayStation, Xbox, and Steam can all do it. It's just a risk that you run. If somebody hacks it and they lock you out of your account, you can't just fire up another one, throw your game in, and still play, do what you want to do. You'll lose your saves, but you won't lose all your games. And plus, I just like having physical games. It's just better for me.
It's nice seeing them all up on the shelf, lined up there.
I kind of like that. So, and we'll let you finish up what you were saying, Brandon. I was just messing with you.
Oh no, I'm fine with it.
You look kind of shocked. I've never hard cut it.
No,
before.
I think that's a good idea.
We need to have a foghorn.
Yes.
Yeah. No, actually,
okay.
I'm sure Felix.
Yes.
I was kind of afraid that might happen. All right.
As far as digital versus physical goes, when it comes to music, though, I am all for physical copies. I like having that. I like having the album, look at album art, liner notes, and things like that. And I think a CD sounds better. It's different in terms of games where I don't find too much difference between a physical and digital copy of the game.
So, I'm a real nostalgic
only if it's vinyl.
Too. Yeah. I want to be able 20, 30 years down the road to bust out that CD and pop it in. And the problem is once the server goes down to download your game, if something happens, you're host. So that's my biggest thing. But I mean, to each his own. Price is a big thing. I mean, with Dying Light, I got that because I got a $20 deal on it, brand new game. I mean, I'm gonna take that deal, but I pretty much take physical anytime I can. So, all right, that is our longer than 2 Minute Technodrome.
Yeah, way to go, Steve.
Thanks. Well, Brandon, I felt bad. Brandon looked shocked when I cut him off.
Yeah, but I went with it.
I was like, So, all right, what we're going to do, what are you playing? Kind of what we're playing, and today I also want to know what's in your backlog, like what's coming up, so we kind of know what's next in line. So we'll start with Nick.
This is our Scrum, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's kind of the same as been past few weeks. Rocksmith.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually been delving away from the games a little bit recently, playing around with some UDK, Unreal Development Kit,
Mm-hmm.
and then going in some coding of OpenGL. So I've been more looking into creating them
Oh, that sounds like
than playing
fun.
them.
Mr. Fantastic. You can do
Yes, he is a teapot.
Well, okay.
It's got a purpose, I'm sure.
So are you coding
I don't
different
know.
levels with the Unreal?
UDK, I'm kind of looking at third person right now. The UDK 4 is actually really nice because it comes with pre-built game types. So you can actually say you're making a roller game or a third person. So it's a big step up from UDK 3 from what I saw.
I'd seen that. I've clicked around it and then realized I'm in over my head after I broke about 9 things and then shut it down. So.
Yeah, it's heavily C++ dependent, so you got to be...
Wow, sounds like my grades in high school.
Hi-oh.
Hey-ho. It's a C++. All right, Brandon.
Oh, well, I just got a Shovel Knight last week. I was pretty excited for it.
It's a good one.
Really digging it. It's like everything I would have ever wanted to put in a game. There's so many little Easter eggs or throwbacks to games I loved in the 8-bit era. I also got Child of Light. Loving that because we had that for free on Xbox One, and really loving the art style and the music and aesthetic of that game. And it's plays like a JRPG, which I love RPGs anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Far Cry 4 is in my backlog though.
Yeah.
I really
Did you
want to
pick it up already?
Yeah, I have it,
Looks
and I'm just waiting to dive into that, and especially for the co-op.
Did you hear about the 15-minute ending?
Mm-mm.
Supposedly there's a way that you can beat the game in 15 minutes.
No.
Because I guess some people came up and they're like, well, why couldn't you just do this? And I guess there's a way where you can actually go in the game and beat it. And just be done in 15 minutes. So I think it's hilarious.
I'll try to speedrun that.
I beat it in 14 and a half. No, I don't really know what it is because I didn't read into it. I just heard that there's a way to do it. So you have to let me know if you find that. All right, Rich.
What am I playing? All right. Well, right now, Lego Marvel, but I'm playing Mortal Kombat 10, and I'm about to start on Walking Dead or Wolfenstein.
Yeah.
What is it? New Order or
Yep.
something?
Yeah, dude, Wolfenstein.
Good one. Yeah, I just finished that one.
Yeah.
Enjoy
So I'm about
it.
to play that. I guess my roadblocks are. I don't know. I have nothing. I just have to start. I'm just procrastinating
He's that
starting
good.
a new game.
Yeah.
I'm just I could start this game, or I could play Mortal Kombat 10. Yeah. So in my backlog are those 2 games basically.
Nice.
That's about it.
All right, so I just beat Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep Ventus playthrough. So in our little race, I think we're all... Rich, you beat Terra, right?
Yep.
And you're still working through Ventus.
I'm having attention issues.
Okay. So I just beat that over the weekend. So I just started Last of Us. So I'm doing the hater review. Kind of goes into my next segment here. So I'm going to be doing some reviews of Last of Us as I go through and play it, and kind of making my judgment on it. So I don't normally play the zombie kind of survival game, so it'll be kind of interesting to play that. I've played about an hour so far. It's a pretty game so far, but I can't really say too much on the gameplay and content, so I'm looking forward to streaming some more of that and playing some more.
So be on the lookout. You stream it, maybe twice a week or so?
At night usually.
So you can pay
I'll try to
attention.
tweet it.
Yeah, pay attention to our Twitter feed. He'll throw it up there whenever he's gonna start playing some. What's in your backlog?
I mean, right now it's just The Last of Us. I'm playing through that.
That's
Everything else
that's a
planned.
hefty game.
The Order is kind of on your backlog too.
The Order is sitting there. It's been looming on my backlog for about 4 months now. So we'll see if I get around to that.
Well, I'm playing Bloodborne right now. If you've pretty much looked at our Twitch last week, I've really played this much this week. I've been doing so many other things. But I found out that I skipped the first boss entirely and went right to the second. So I've been frustrated trying to kill this guy forever. Couldn't kill him. My brother-in-law comes over, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to the first boss. He goes, what are you talking about? He goes, you totally ran past the first boss. I was like, what are you talking about? And so I went back. I beat the first boss. He was annoying. He wasn't unbeatable. He basically, like I got killed obviously a lot, but it wasn't to the point where I was like, oh my god, this is obnoxious. I beat him, got leveled up, got a few more things, and now I'm back to the second boss. From what I've been told, the level I'm at is ridiculous for this boss, and I still can't beat him. I went like full tilt Saturday night. I played till like 2 a.m. I couldn't beat him. If you go on our Twitch and you can see our past videos, you'll see I die in an hour. I probably die like 50 times. Because like tilts, whenever you just get like so pissed, you just mess up constantly. Because that's all my brother-in-law does is talk smack to me while I play the game. So like anytime he sees me going there and just try and slaughter things, he's like, tilt. I'm like, shut up. That's not helping. So that's what I've been playing. Backlog. I'm still working through the Halo Master Chief Collection. Little by little, I go back and play that every now and again. That's probably the biggest one. And then Grand Theft Auto 5 I was playing before I got Bloodborne in the before time. And so that's what I'd like to go back to.
Halo 4 is in my backlog too, I just remembered.
Halo 4?
Yeah, we should co-op that.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Yep. Felix number 2.
He's supposed to be part of the action.
Yeah, I know, right? He said, look at this, get my good side. So yeah, that's where I got with all that. It's been a lot of fun. It's been super frustrating, and I've loved every minute of it. I'm horrible at interrupting attacks, so you're supposed to be able to.
It's kind of a key part of that game.
It really is. I know. I need to pay more attention. I just don't. I'm just like, shoot him 100 times, and I'll get once out of that time. And I'm so bad at it that I'm not prepared for a visceral attack. So when it works, I'm surprised. So I'm like,
I did it right.
Yeah, because I'll shoot him and dodge, and I'll dodge as he's on his knee, and I can visceral attack. I'm like, well, that didn't work. So it's been great. So, all right, now the news. Who wants to start this one?
I'll go ahead and start this one. This is pretty big news. So the past week, I'm sure most of you guys have heard about the Steam monetizing the Skyrim mods. Working with Bethesda and making those. And it turns out yesterday they just went ahead and rolled that back. So now they're not monetizing it anymore. So that was a big controversy, and I'm glad that they went away from it. I think I understand both sides to it, but really when you try to just come into a modding community like Skyrim had been set up for years, and everything was free, and they were all collaborative together, and then you just say you give them the option to pay for it. Well, that's going to create just a big drift in the whole community. So I'm glad that they went back. What are you guys' thoughts on it?
I wonder if the developers are pissed or not. The ones who made the mods.
They said they made something, $10,000 in the first day?
Gabe was interviewed, and he said they made $10,000. Steam made $10,000 in the first day, which they get roughly a 30% cut. I couldn't find an official number, but they said it should be about what their normal is, which is 30%. So whatever adds 70% to that, I'm not good at math, so I'm not going to do that. But
that's a lot of money in one day.
There's I guess some mod said he's made more money in the first couple days or something than he's made since he started modding and stuff like that. So they're probably upset, but I think it was just implemented terribly. I can't say I'm against modders getting paid because whenever you do something like that and you put so much time into it, if you can get paid, do it. But the problem is it's a hobby. Everybody has hobbies on there. We all have hobbies. If I could get paid, like I love running. My Twitter handle is GameBikeRun. So I like that kind of stuff. I don't get paid to run. I am not nearly fast enough. I think I've won my age group and got some gift certificates. But if they had some races out there I could get paid to do, or if somebody said I would sponsor you for a race, I would do it. But my problem with it was the amount of cut that Bethesda got, which was about 45% is what the word was, which is insane because Bethesda, they have nothing to do with it. They shouldn't get a dime.
It's their game, their engine,
everything. Here's where this is my problem with this. There's the mindset for physical goods and items, and there's a mindset for digital. For some reason, people think people are treating digital products differently than physical. The biggest example I've been using is you have an exhaust in your car, aftermarket exhaust. He's got a Subaru WRX. It's got one of those go fast exhaust kits on it. When you go buy something like that, it relies on that car. I can't take it and put it on my car, even though I have a Forester. Still a Subaru. It won't work. It's designed for his car. It would not exist without it. But whenever you go buy it, Subaru doesn't get any money. It had nothing to do with that exhaust system. They don't. But on the flip side, the reason they get no money, they don't support it. They don't fix it. They don't maintain it. They have zero responsibility once that thing goes on.
It voided my warranty, so it's not like I could go back and claim anything for Subaru. I was doing this all and took the risk on myself by doing all of that.
Yeah, and that's the way it is with physical goods. Just about everybody cell phone case. This is a Nexus 5. This case is made specifically for the Nexus 5. I promise you, Ringkey doesn't pay LG royalties to make this specific. And I don't think it should be any different for something like that. Now, if they started stealing assets from it and things like that, you get into kind of a gray area. But whenever they're creating an entirely new thing for a game, Bethesda should not get money for it. They don't do anything with it. And the problem with this is there's no QA, there's no QC. We have all seen what happens when that doesn't work, considering that we all work in software. There's no support, there's no anything. So they're basically charging for a hobbyist product. So I get Valve making money, they're the store. That's like saying Target should get money for selling stocks. Of course, they stock it, they do everything. But my problem really was Bethesda taking, especially a 45% cut.
Yeah, and if they're going to take that big of a cut, then they really need to have the quality control on it. And if something breaks, like in a future update, you paid money for that, and you paid some of that, half of that money went to Bethesda. They should somehow guarantee or at least help in fixing that mod, and they weren't.
Yeah, they were just getting 45% because they made it, which awesome, they made it, but I also bought it from them.
Do you think that maybe they take that big of a cut to maybe discourage some people from doing it, or no?
I think they took that big of a cut because there's literally no other way. Like, honestly, it's a complete monopoly for mods when it comes to charging. So if you wanted your mod, you're going to take 25%, you're going to like it. I thought it was complete garbage. Again, there's better ways. A lot of people say donations. We all know donations aren't that great. People don't get into donations. A lot of modders are like, I've made like $10 in like 3 years of modding for good mods. Like Sky UI, which is one of the biggest mods in Skyrim. He's like, I don't make anything off of this. He's like, a little here, a little there. That's it. It's not the amount of time that goes into it, but it's a pretty gray area. I can't say I'm completely against it.
I mean, obviously there's a lot of money that's to be had here. So I think they need to. It's probably going to come back. They're making that much money.
Oh, it's absolutely.
They just need to be careful about how they implement it, and consult the community, especially a community that's been part and collaborative between each other for that many years. You can't just throw this in without talking. They talk to like one or two people in private. Just kind of involving everyone, making sure they roll it out the next time in a better way.
I'm completely fine with them taking the 45% or whatever, because I mean, if the modder made the game from scratch, fine, but they basically piggybacked off someone else's code.
But that's like I said, a game code is no different than any other product that has add-ons attached to it, like cell phones and cars. It's the exact same thing. You make a consumer product.
They pay royalties and things like that for certain stuff that they do. Not everything, but they do.
The majority of stuff doesn't, though.
So, like, if you use your phone case, well, that's a case that goes around it. It's not specific to something to add on to that product.
No, it's specific to this. This case will not fit any other phone but an LG Nexus 5. That's it.
That's fine.
And they don't pay any royalties because
it's not. It just happens that it fits that phone, but it's not like it uses an API or anything crazy to integrate with that phone.
No, it wraps around it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying, but it's just a mod. It's a modification to my phone. It's just like a car is honestly a better one because it integrates as part of the product. The phone's just an easier one, but like an exhaust kit, it integrates and helps the product function. But still, they don't have to pay royalties because it's everything's on them to do it.
Yeah, but it's kind of the same argument where you have these game engines that offer a non-commercial license where you pay royalties, let's say 20%, 30%, whatever. A CryEngine, UDK, they both do it, and it doesn't really matter what the game is. It just you just pay it.
Well, that's the reason that's different is because that's not just like they didn't make a game, put it out there, and you make an addition to it. They made an entire product to create other products because that's just like Adobe and other things. Then.
Even that though, you're still kind of it's kind of like you're using an engine there with Bethesda.
That's not like a finished product, and like you're using it to create an entire new product like within that same product. That's like a tool.
But you're using it as an engine, is what he's saying.
Yeah, you're using it as a tool to create it.
Yeah,
the mod's not a tool.
At a high level.
Well, the game's not a tool. The game is just what
it is, because without it, they don't have anything to build. That
that's
is
just
their
like-
SDK, basically.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's the same as literally every other product on the planet. What you're talking about is a tool. The game is a product. They're two completely different things.
So
So
to
he's
kind
saying
of
that they use the game as a product. As a tool, sorry.
But you don't use the game to create more game. You use programming tools to create more game.
you still have to hook into the game.
Yeah. I mean,
You
he had to hook
piggyback
into
off
his
the
engine.
It was specific.
I'm
So
gonna say.
I don't think
It's-
we're gonna.
yeah, we're
yeah.
not gonna. Sorry, we completely went on that one. Obviously, and there's a million different ways to approach this, and everybody's got their own opinions, and that's just the way it is. It's a pretty hot button topic.
I will finish on saying, though, I have less of a problem of, what is it, Bethesda, right?
Mm-hmm.
Taking that big of a cut versus Steam taking that big of a cut. Because Bethesda actually built the thing.
Steam is the store. That's why, like App Store, they don't do
Oh.
anything, but they host it.
I mean, I understand, but I have more of a problem. It's like GameStop. I have more of a problem with them getting the bigger cut than the developer creating the cut.
Yeah.
No, I think 30% is a bit much. I don't think at any point a modder should ever in the history of ever get less than half. Like there's absolutely no reason for them to get less than half of the revenue. But oh well, I guess it's gonna come up again, and I'm sure we'll talk about it again when they implement it in a new way. But what'd you come up with, Rankin?
So, as most of my topics go, this one goes around Square Enix. Don't worry, it's not Kingdom Hearts. So, news today, actually, they announced they're actually releasing a patch, a update to the Final Fantasy 15 update, episode Disque. And really the...
Episode what?
So basically the demo that was released.
Oh, okay.
So, a lot of complaints have been out about this, combat being one of them, the voiceover, some of the fluidity of the game, and also the frame rate drops. Well, mid to late May, they announced that they're actually releasing a patch, a update, and it sounds like they're actually going to make this a almost playtest demo to keep updating it to keep people's opinions of it.
That's a cool idea.
So coming mid to May, they're introducing active time battle combat enhancements, better camera, which was my big complaint mostly.
Should stream some of that.
Yeah, definitely. And then some additional combats and new voice acting. They actually admitted that the voice acting wasn't ready by the time the demo came out. So
it's like Destiny and Elder Scrolls Online both launched with different voice acting than the actual game did, and it was really crazy.
Yeah, and I mean they did polls of different areas. What the biggest complaint was in the area, Europe, because I don't believe they're more into exposing. They had the biggest problem with the way the women were portrayed in the game.
Yeah, that's another hot button issue right now, but we will not touch that.
Yeah, I don't want to go near that.
No.
In U.S. I believe was just the voice acting was horrible. I believe there are different complaints.
For a game that early,
yeah. But quite honestly, I'm excited for this. It continues the hype train for this for me.
Oh yeah, choo choo.
Get the conductor going on that.
Whistle.
The concerns that people are having that I had, they're at least patching. So I'm really excited for what's gonna come to be.
Is that going to be a free demo? Because I know the other one you had to pay part of Type 0.
It's part of that one.
It's still going to be that?
It's the update to that.
Dang, I wanted to play it. All right, I have to watch your stream.
Yeah.
All
Right,
right,
on
Brandon.
eBay for $60 just
All
the
right.
demo.
Well, somebody else play while I do mine. Well, mine ties into I think somebody else's news story, but I saw that Silent Hills was canceled, and I'm pretty bummed about that. A few weeks ago, when we talked about the status of Konami losing Kojima, we talked about how there's a possibility that Konami might be done pretty soon, and I thought, well, they still have Silent Hill, so. Well,
It's episode 1. If you go back and listen,
Yeah.
we were talking about that.
exactly.
Like, oh, they still got that. I mean, Guillermo del Toro.
Del Toro, yeah.
Was going to
He's not been able to finish one game.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
It's like
now.
the third one he's canceled.
Like he's going to be on that. Kojima was going to be on that. It's like, all right, this could be pretty cool. And that PT looked just effing crazy.
It was, and we should definitely stream that pretty soon.
Yeah, we're going to do a let's play with that because who's played it already?
Yeah,
You guys have played it?
I've seen some videos.
I'm saying, me and you've seen videos.
I'm the only one who's
played it.
completely blind to the whole thing.
We'll have to stream that one day because I just downloaded it. I won't touch it till we'll do a Let's Play.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
I played it broad daylight. My wife's sitting on the couch next to me, watching me play it, and she likes scary movies, so she was getting into it, and we both jumped. I at least I know I jumped and yelled because I was not expecting what happened.
Yeah.
And I thought, man, I cannot wait to play the rest of this game, and I'm super bummed to hear that it's canceled because I think it really started off on the right foot, especially with Kojima behind it, because he always puts a lot of work and effort in making sure his games are, everything, they live up to the hype, basically.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess, there's still Metal Gear Solid 5, but I'm sad that we lost. I'm sad that we lost that from Konami. I don't know what else is what's there left to lose now. For me, I think that's it.
They have PES or whatever, the soccer game.
FIFA?
Konami makes
Not
PES?
FIFA.
No, there's PES, Pro Evolution Soccer.
Yeah, I think it's PES.
Oh, I thought you meant like the Vita game or something.
I thought you meant
No,
the candy.
the candy.
Yeah.
Oh, no, Fez.
You're thinking Fez, you're thinking the candy.
We're all over the place.
You're
here.
thinking FIFA.
Yeah.
Pro Evolution Soccer, it's like the only game that is
that's
actually...
the only thing that they probably have left that makes a lot of money.
That's not for me.
We're not going to play that.
What are you talking about?
So
Yeah.
but I'm hoping, and this is just blind optimism, I'm hoping that this is all part of some crazy hoax and trolling that Kojima's doing, because
That guy's crazy.
yeah he is.
Where's
I
he
don't know, he's
going?
getting fired, so...
What if he's not? What if all this is giant PR stunt and he's not getting fired? And
Yeah, Kojima's kind of weird.
Yeah. Which rolls right into...
Conspiracy
Yeah, but like going back to that Konami thing going down.
This one I didn't even believe.
Did you hear about the New York Stock Exchange? How Konami delisted themselves from the New York Stock Exchange?
I learned later. I read into that, and they said that like Konami has like such a small U.S. presence, and I guess I'm sure there will be floating tax. They'll correct me, but from what I read, it said that they have such a small such a small presence here, and they have to go through so many regulations and jump through so many hoops to be in the U.S. on the New York Stock Exchange that they're like, screw it, we're out. But again,
I mean, it happens when they're about to announce their Q1 financials. So that's the big like conspiracy about it. It's like, are they afraid of a hostile takeover? Are they restructuring? What are they doing? Why do they do it right before Q1 financial records?
I've read that their games division though is only like 15% of the whole company.
I don't know.
Maybe they'll sell it. That could be it.
Yeah, so it's only like one division. I think it's the slots division or something like that, or some game division.
Their game division's huge from what I heard.
Yeah.
But then you had your okay,
yeah.
So
my
hold
news
on.
topic.
Before you get your news topic, we do our show notes. We have them on Google Drive, and I had our section for news. Everybody kind of puts what they're going to talk about. I see MGS head transplant conspiracy, and I was like,
What is happening?
what is this? So I was like, all right, so it's
stroke
rich,
halfway
so I was
through
like,
writing that?
I think he had a stroke. So MGS, I know big Metal Gear Solid fan. I was like, okay, it's probably Metal Gear Solid, and it's head transplant. I remember hearing a couple weeks ago about a guy announcing they're gonna start moving forward with possible head transplants, and I was like, conspiracy, Metal Gear Solid head trans. I was like, I'm reading into this wrong, but nope. That is exactly what it was. So you can enlighten us on what the F is going on.
I'll give you the high level story because I don't have enough time to go into the super details of this.
No kidding.
But essentially, Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, they released trailers since like 2012, 2013. Kojima trolling, the Moby Dick studio, Joachim Mohin or whatever the heck he named the guy who's directing it, or the little bandage guy. Well, in the trailer, there's a guy, a doctor, who kind of looks like, was it Mike or whatever from Breaking Bad?
Mike from Breaking Bad.
Yeah, Mike from Breaking Bad, with glasses, really round glasses. And basically talks to the main character, Solid Snake, if you don't know about Metal Gear. Or, I'm sorry, Big Boss, I should say, not Solid Snake. That's wrong. And he's telling him, he's been in a coma for 9 years, yada, yada, yada. And then this huge explosion happens. They're trying to escape the hospital. Well, apparently that guy looks a lot like the guy who, back in 2013 and in recent weeks, has been announcing that he's going to perform the first head transplant surgery. in 2017. And every other scientist in the world is like, that's freaking crazy. We can't fuse a spinal cord back together yet.
Yeah. Not that it works anyway.
Yeah, I mean, they've tried it in the 70s on an ape, and it lived for like 8 days and died or something, or 8 minutes, something like that, and died. They tried it with rats, but they never work. They can't get movement out of the body. They're just paralyzed. So someone noticed on NeoGAF or Reddit that those two guys look the same.
Yeah.
And so people start digging into it more and more, and nobody can find any information on this guy, this doctor, before the Metal Gear Solid 5 announcement. Mm-hmm. There's nothing before 2012. They're like, he's written hundreds of papers in medical journals. There's nothing. His Wikipedia page everything is 2012 or later. So there's this whole conspiracy. This is a PR stunt by Kojima and everything. You know, that they contacted the guy. The guy says, I'm suing Konami. Konami has a weird response by sending out a tweet of basically an army of headless soldiers.
To the doctor?
On Twitter, on their Twitter account. They just released, and with the caption like, stay tuned or something like that.
Oh my God.
And so Kojima is so crazy, and he does these things all the time that I don't know what to think.
Yeah.
What I personally think is that he found out that someone found out about this, and he went, you know what I should do? Mm-hmm. I should just start messing with people.
Yeah.
And then anytime anyone made a connection, he would just start being like, yep. And then he did, like today.
Fan the flames.
Today he did a tweet that's like, hey, look at this new gift I got. It's called Gemini. Gemini is the name of the project, the head transplant.
Oh my God.
And then it's just like every other day, he has some kind of tweet or something, and he's just trolling everybody, and we don't know what to think. We don't know if it's a PR stunt or if he's just trolling everyone. Yeah. With Kojima, it could be either or. I have no idea.
Yeah. I love insane marketing campaigns, or just crazy marketing campaigns, like when Aqua Teen Hunger Force had that huge kerfuffle in Boston. They put out light brights all over the place with Ignignockt and and everybody thought they were bombs.
Yeah.
And then like they're oh my God, the press conference after that was amazing. I love the press conference after, because the guys were instructed by the lawyer to not say anything. The guys who actually put it out, the people that paid to put it out. So they spent the whole press conference like as they got out of jail talking about their hair. It was awesome. Probably the best press conference I've ever seen. Because they're like, okay, did you know this was going to turn into a bomb? And he's like, really? It's got great lift. It's hard to get it this straight, but I was dying. So if this is that, I'd love it. I love crazy stuff like this.
With Kojima, you can't tell. You
exactly.
just can't tell.
And
that's awesome.
I still have a hard time accepting that Konami would fire the guy behind one of their big franchises. You know what I mean? I still have a hard time accepting that. The part of me wants to believe so bad that this is all just a giant hoax on purpose.
They're going to reboot Metal Gear, and that's why he's going to come back.
Yeah.
What's going to happen is they're going to let him go, and then like a month later they're going to be like, we hired this guy, this new guy, and like he's going to come in all
he's
made up to look like
he's going to look like
he's going to come in. He's going to look like he's 20 years old, and they're going to be like, we hired this guy. Everybody's going to know it's Kojima, and they're like, we hired this guy, and we're going to make this new game. And then it'll be like Metal Gear.
It's going to be a reboot of the old MSX.
It'll be like Metal Gear, the Phoenix. It'll be the next one.
It definitely could be.
It could be.
That would be hilarious.
Oh God,
Brandon's getting hyped just thinking about it. Getting him all excited.
Phoenix.
Dude, wait to see how 5 comes out.
We need to start this rumor. Is what we need to do.
Okay,
you heard it here first.
Here first. Metal Gear Solid Phoenix.
We need
Part 2. The prequel. So all right, that's awesome. I hope it turns out. So my little bit of news here. Microsoft was supposed to host this Halo tournament on April 25th, the Halo Championship Series #1. Obviously, everybody jumps on the Master Chief Collection and they play a game. It wasn't an in-person, it was over Xbox Live. It was a hosted event. I wasn't sure if it was going to be somewhere. So they had to cancel it because of party joining issues, where people were having problems getting in parties. So
how long has that game been out?
How long has the Xbox One been out?
November 11th.
Yeah.
The game came out, and was it November 21st
November 11th
or so?
Or something.
The game came out November 11th because it was Veterans Day, and I think the Xbox One came out like the 28th or so because it was a week after PlayStation 4, which was the 14th. Mm-hmm. And they said that it had nothing to do with the servers and the normal game, the normal Halo game issues, but it was just the party connections didn't work. And I personally had tons of problems with party connections whenever I do it.
Yeah.
Sometimes one person joins, another person can't join. You can't hear each other, and the party system is still screwed on that. So their inaugural Halo Championship Series was canceled. And here's the best part. Microsoft owns every single bit of this. They own the hardware, which would be the controllers and the Xbox. You can buy some aftermarket controllers, but for the most part, they own the controllers and the Xbox. They own the software, the
apps.
Well, they own the apps, and they own the operating system that runs on it. They own the servers. Everything runs on the back end. All their Azure servers, everything they bragged about, there's thousands and thousands of servers.
Right.
They own it. They own the company who makes the video game, 343.
Yep.
It's their company. And they own the IP of Halo. They own every single bit, and they still can't get people to talk to each other on a chat. That is insane. Like, normally the default defense for something like this is everything works. It's just this one part, we can't get it to work.
Yeah.
Except for in this part, if the OS guys are like, oh man, for some reason when you join a party and jump in the game, it kills it. But we'd have to get a hold of the game developers, and we'll have to start doing this. Pick up the phone. I'll bet you they could probably get on Microsoft Link on their computer and just chat.
Yeah.
So that
Skype.
is.
Wait, yeah, they
Sorry,
bought Skype now.
sorry, it's Skype. I bet you they could probably Skype each other now. So that just blows my mind that they could literally own cradle to grave of this situation and still not fix it.
And the fact that they had to cancel the whole
They
thing.
canceled the whole
Like,
thing.
I can see technical difficulties, but they couldn't resolve it, so they had to cancel it.
Not only that, the games are just remastered versions of games that came out past a decade, so it's like not new.
Well, it's not necessarily the game's fault. They said that it's not the same server issues in part, and not part issues, but server issues and stuff like that, and balancing issues that were plagued it really bad when it came out. But still, like, there's literally no excuse for this. This is insane. The console's been out a year and a half. And, like, again, you own every single piece of this. Fix it. I mean,
and this isn't us being, like, fanboys for one or the other. We would like it to work.
I would love it to work.
Yeah.
It annoys me all the time when I'm trying to play Titanfall with some friends. We can't. The chat just doesn't
party,
work.
Oh God, they need to figure that out. Like I'll be in a party with a guy, and for whatever stupid reason, it's so inconsistent. Like, it works when it wants to, but when it doesn't, it's annoying as hell.
Oh my God, it's terrible.
Like, somebody joins your party and you get that stupid X next to their name. Like, why can't I hear you? I don't know.
No idea.
Texting each other. I can't hear you. Oh, try switching this controller. Oh,
and 360 is rock solid.
Yeah,
I mean,
never had that problem.
It's completely different, but 360 just works so well. So that was my "Are you freaking kidding me?" of the day. And then my quick little news blurb here is, I just read an article today about the size of The Witcher 3 coming out next month. I'm getting sucked into this hype train so bad. It's happening. I've been watching this game for like a year and a half. When I got my gaming PC, I saw something about some Witcher 2 mod that made it look really good, and then somebody showed a picture of Witcher 3, and I was like, oh my God, that looks really, really cool. So I've been following it off and on for a year and a half now. And I was like, I'm not going to buy it. I got a huge drop for Christmas. I've plenty to do. I just got Bloodborne, and every time I just want to buy it. So the game size for the main map is 136 square kilometers, which for everybody who is in Freedom Land, that's 52.5 square miles, just for the main map. And there's 4 to 6 other smaller areas that aren't counted in this. But for comparison, as far as kilometers go, this is 136. We'll start with like GTA San Andreas, old game, was considered pretty big. That was 36. So this is 100 square kilometers bigger than GTA San Andreas.
I thought it was supposed to be bigger than 5.
There's holding horses.
Sorry, man.
Spoilers.
Nick Antsy Pants ranking.
You know what?
Fancy pants.
So we're gonna slowly. This is gonna be a slow burn. So we'll come up to the next one. Skyrim came out 2011, pretty big game. That's 37 square kilometers. So this is still.
Can you use like non-made-up numbers?
Well, this is just for comparison.
Like
You're
units.
Polish. How do you not know metric system?
Yeah.
That's too hard. I tried.
Metric system far
What are you talking about?
Tens and hundreds?
I need arbitrary numbers.
Multiple by 10. This is garbage. So Skyrim was 37. So it's still 99 square kilometers bigger than Skyrim's main map. Far Cry 4 just came out. It's 46. So we're getting within about 80 something. And GTA 5, huge game. I've been playing it. It's a blast. GTA 5 is 81 square kilometers. So this is was that about 55 square kilometers bigger than GTA 5. And they said that it's not, and they the article I read had the same concerns. Let's make sure it's not 136 square kilometers of run through the woods. Because it's fun to go camping in real life. In a game, it's kind of dumb. So let's hope it actually has a lot to it. And there's also supposed to be no loading for the main map. Unless you fast travel, there is no loading screens. I have no idea how they're going to do that black magic because there's only 8 gigs of RAM in both of the consoles, and I can't imagine the assets for something that big. So maybe it does a rolling load or something like that. Or
I'm just going to use PFN.
This is true.
Yeah.
I don't know. I trust CD Projekt Red. I don't know a whole lot about their other games as far as their launches and their build up, but from what I've read, a lot of people think that they can. From what I hear, they deliver. So.
They're also known for their games division really isn't their biggest moneymaker, is my understanding. They have GOG.com.
Yep.
And they're very
anti-DRM.
They're very anti-DRM, and that's where they also get a lot of their money from. So they have a lot of street cred.
Yeah. So if you want to support the developer even more for Witcher 3, you can get it on Game Over Gaming, GOG.com. Which is DRM free, which is great because you don't have to have launchers or any other bullcrap.
I do have a question about Witcher 3. Is there hunting like there is in, let's say, Assassin's Creed and Red Dead?
It's called the Wild Hunt, so probably.
So you don't know for sure?
I have no idea.
I should find that out.
I haven't seen specific hunting stuff, so I don't really know.
If there's hunting in a game, I will buy it.
I'll look it up for you. We'll find out.
Big game hunter? Is that
no. It has to be like the side quest. It can't be like the main purpose of the game. It needs to be like the side quest where I can skin animals and then sell them off to the Caribbean.
That's kind of like Far Cry 4.
I'm very specific here.
I'll throw some floating text above your head. It'll probably say something with your Kirov ships. But that's it for me.